remember way back, I was supporting someone to start a farm, and a mistake we made, both of us, maybe the farm owner was, we didn't research on the pure goats. Pure goats are very delicate goats that needs to be managed well. You set up the feeding area very well. You do the structure which we did were very good. They are very good, but the problem was we didn't manage the farm. The farm was not controlled, whereby it had access to wild dogs. So usually when these goats were introduced, this is what happened. We had to let them go to the field because we had planted grass, we had pasture very well, cross was there, everything was properly prepared. But we didn't put boundaries like chain links, which gave chance for these wild dogs and these hunters to go through it. So what happened when these goats were using that place, they fed on worms for goats. I mean for dogs. Usually in our communities, people don't deworm dogs. So these goats fed on, these are high variable goats, and now these goats are fed on worms for goats, for dogs, sorry. So what happened, we had everything in place. We had the drugs in place. We had the expertise, but now here comes a new challenge, which calls for learning on job. Learning on job, this is what happened. I had a vet, a doctor, he's a good friend of mine we used to work with. Me, I was a manager, and for him, he was to do that treatment and everything. But what happened, these goats fed on those worms, and the worms had to affect these goats, and they had a lot of diarrhea. These are high value goats. Actually, we lost one goat after using all the drugs. So what we did was like, no, let me call this doctor to come and see. So when I called him, I said, don't throw away the goat. We are going to do a postmortem. So we cut the goat, and what we found there were cysts. Cysts are when these worms for goats, for dogs come in, were eaten by these goats, their eggs. So they had to affect the system of the goats and end up dilating. We used all the drugs, but there wasn't change. So it caused that goat to die, and that goat was worth 3 million. So when we did the postmortem, we discovered that there were cysts. And cysts, these are the worms for goats, I mean for dogs. So we had to change the drugs, the worms that we give to goats, to dogs, and we give them to goats as a treatment. But it was a challenge. What did I learn from that? That for such delicate goats or other goats, it's not good to let all other animals come into that feeding area, because there are other challenges that you can experience without your knowledge. And in the process, you lose. So we lost 3 million. It was a nice buck, which was worth 3 million, and now we lost it, it died. So it was a regrettable experience. I was very passionate about what I was doing, and I was enjoying what I was doing, but that challenge came. But I learned a lot from it, and I believe if it would be even a real doctor, a vet, would experience this, because we never expected that. So usually, experience is the best teacher, as it is said. The more you learn, the more you do something, the more you get to understand the hurdles and the challenge you meet in the course. So that was the biggest challenge which I had, and I was able to learn from it. And I also do a lot of checks before I introduce animals to my farm, or if I introduce new breed. Usually, if I introduce a new stock to my farm, I quarantine them. Quarantining means that you have to keep this animal away from others before you mix them to this one. Means that I have to go through treatment, which you call general treatment. If they have diseases that are infectious, first treat them before you mix them with your new stock you've been managing. If they need a vaccine, you vaccinate them. If you need spraying, spray them. They may come with the ticks, and they're going to pass the ticks to the stock which is well managed. So it was a good bad experience because I learned, and from that it's a caution that before I start a farm, I have to consider the breed, and I have to make sure that they're in the right setup. So before they're introduced to the field or the area they're going to stay. So major it was around that. Boer goats are very good goats. One, they are majorly for meat. Their meat is not so hard. Their meat is cookable. People who do roast, they are cookable, they are soft and sweet. And these venture goats, they grow fast. One, a goat of 14 months, when it is a buck, when castrated, can weigh up to, it can have like 40 kgs. So they are good for meat. They have a high growth rate, and they grow fast. They grow fast, and they gain weight. They easily get weight. They gain weight very fast as compared to our local goats when they're well managed. So it's the second reason why I prefer venturing into goats farming. Secondly, they are majorly for meat. Here in Uganda, the consumption for meat is high. Well, they're majorly for meat, and I want to serve that area. Also, I got involved in them because I want also to be a breeder, so that I can sell to other farmers, so that I can also train other people to do the same thing. Since our population is very big, I can't meet the demand of all the market. So I want also to interest other guys to go into Boer goats farming. Me, I love them because of their behavior. They're fast growing, they are good for meat, they are user friendly, they consume each and every pasture we have around here in Uganda. They are not so selective. So meaning that they make a good business sense, they are manageable, you can easily earn from them. So based on their traits and even their multiplication effect. They also have that element of, at least if you have 20 goats, at least 15 they produce 2 to 3 kids at once. So meaning that they easily multiply. Yeah, so you can easily earn from them in the, for instance, in the third year, in the break even. Okay, the best-selling locals, the MUBENDE, because of their size. They are big enough to able to be served a Boer goat like of this size, because they are sizable enough. Their nature, they are sizable enough, and most of them also they have that trait of producing 2 kids. Most of them. So we want to pick that size so that we match them with a Boer, so that we have a goat that is resistant to disease. Second, that is growing fast and can easily gain weight, because I don't want to keep a goat for 15 years when it's with 15 kgs. Doesn't make a business sense. So we are commercializing goats farming and looking at profitability. So the end goal is to earn money from them, not just keeping them there. So we want to make sure that we get mileage from them, so that we can earn from them. It's the end goal. Usually goats in the dry season, they thrive well, because in the dry season the pests and diseases are less as compared to the rainy season. The rainy season, there's a high infection rate of goats. That is worms, other diseases in the rainy season, even foot rot. So if you don't manage them well during the rainy season, you find that you spend more drugs. Yeah, and even they are slightly challenging to be fed, because if the rainy season, they don't want to go into wet environment, meaning that you have to find extra feed to bring them inside until you wait for the sun to come out. So they can make noise for you if you don't plan ahead. So it's better to plan for all the seasons. Usually, I prefer feeding goats in the rainy season, grains, and even leaves that have less water. For a reason, I have to during the rainy season, I prepare feeds for drought season, because here the weather is good. They can grow myrumo, the potato vines, they thrive well. I prepare Croix Guyana, or what you call hay, in the rainy season, so that in the dry season they can feed on them. I can save them for this I can save them for the rainy season. In the rainy season I can prepare this grass, so that in the dry season I prepare them, so that when the rainy season comes again, I have feed on stock to feed them in the rainy season, so I can manage them. As we've seen earlier, that in the rainy season the disease infection, or is the goats always fell sick at a high rate in the rainy season, means that I can manage them through my feed management system and the storage. So majorly the challenge in the rainy season, it is a bit challenging. There's a lot of diseases affecting our goats. And even cough. Goats are like also, they have a system like we human beings. If it is too hot, they can also have disease like cough because of the drought, and even they feed on grass which is full of dirt. So at the end of the day, you find that it's more about you being knowledgeable of what you are doing and how to deal with the challenge. But majorly it's within the rainy season where there are more challenges compared to the dry season.
Okay. What do you know about goats not taking water?
What?
What do you know about goats not taking water?
As our culture is, we all think that goats don't drink water. But it's also paramount for goats to have water, because, for instance, at a zero grazing kind of method of farming, you find that they are fed on a variety of feeds. They can eat dry feed, they can eat leafy feed that has some fresh water in them. So if you don't give them water which is available for them to take, they can have constipation. And also the water I'm talking about, I don't mean dirty water where you wash your clothing and now you are serving it that water which is dirty, you are serving it to goats. No, you have to give them clean water which you can also take. They need clean water in a clean container, which you have to wash every time you're adding their water. So it is very important for them also to be served water. Water is very paramount for them, so that they are able to eat. For instance, if I'm feeding them on grain are dry feeds, and there is that sort of additive. How can you say that they can't take water when they're taking grain that are dry product? Oh, so it's a dry feed. So meaning that if you don't put them water, you're going to give them a hard time to thrive and to gain from them.
Okay. What are those financial tips that every good farmer should?
In which perspective?
In perspective like in
Management.